Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Today we have another lesson, Mega Goal 6. But before we start the new lesson, let's take a quick overview of the previous lesson. We've started the previous lesson with focusing on this page, which is 59, and starting with the first part, which is number 5, listening. We talked in the previous lesson about some of the techniques that could help you to enhance your understanding and increase your sensitivity to listening to any English materials. We said that it's important for everyone who aims to improve his English skills to listen and expose himself or herself to the English materials for a long time. Listen to podcasts, YouTube, news, read papers, read anything that, or listen to anything that could enhance your listening skills. We also talked about some specific usages for the listening, and we said that there are many steps that you can follow before taking an exam, or if you have an exercise or a listening exercise, of course. We said that it's better to start reading the question. Start with identifying what should you do. What is the task that you have to do? What are the questions that you have to answer? What are the information that you're looking for? All these are things that you should focus on before you start the exam or you start doing the exercise. After that, after putting all these things and organizing them in your mind, listen carefully, pick up your pencil and start taking notes to anything that you think is helpful for you. And after you finish listening to the recording, you can go ahead and fill the blanks with the proper answers. Always put in your mind that you shouldn't panic. Don't panic if you don't understand every single word in the recording, because you are not required to understand every word. It's okay to miss some of the words. The most important thing is to understand or to get the main idea of what you listen to. That's a quick overview that could help you, or some advices that could help you to enhance your listening skills. We've gone through this lesson, where we listened to some conversations between Matt, Jake, and their friends. They thought that Matt and Jake went through an accident and it appeared to be a rumor. We've listened to this together. We worked on every part in this chart. We answered the rumors. We got the truth. Then after that, or at the end of the lesson, we learned how to look for specific information in every listening material that we have. These are the answers that we had in the previous lesson. And today we have two parts on the same page, page 56. We have pronunciation and we have vocabulary building. We will start with the pronunciation. Firstly, why do we study pronunciation? What is the purpose of studying pronunciation? Firstly, pronunciation means the way we utter or the way we say a word. This is called pronunciation. Okay, why do we study it? Firstly, to be able to understand what we hear. If you know the techniques, or if you learn the techniques, and you listen or you hear these words where these techniques used, you will understand what you hear. This is the first goal. The second is that you will be able to put what you have learned into practice. You will learn how to use these techniques. Today, we have a technique that is revolve around the questions. When we ask questions, we have different aims by asking questions. Sometimes we ask about something we don't know. And other times we ask about something, or we ask to confirm something that we already know. We don't know if it's true or not, so we look for a confirmation. We look for a confirmation. So as you can notice here, questions usually serve one of two purposes. We have two purposes for the questions. The first one is to find out information. So we're looking for new information that you don't already know. So you have no knowledge about this piece of information. This kind of question usually ends with falling intonation. Falling intonation. The second purpose is to confirm that, or to confirm that information you believe to be true is correct. You already have an information, but you are not sure if it's correct or not. So you are looking for a confirmation. This kind of question usually ends with rising intonation. So we have two types. The first one, you have no idea. This one ends with a falling intonation. Falling intonation. And if you have a knowledge, or if you have an information about something and you want to make sure if it's correct or not, this type of questions ends with a rising intonation. The meaning of rising intonation means that you raise your voice. You raise your voice while you end the sentence. Well, the falling intonation is that you start turning your voice down. Okay? The volume of your voice goes down. That is the meaning of falling intonation. Okay? Falling intonation and rising intonation. If you have no knowledge about something and you ask about it, then you use the falling intonation. If you want to confirm an information in your mind, you use the rising intonation. Now let's go ahead and put what we have learned into practice. We will listen to these two types, and after that, we will listen and practice. So, I want you now to open your book on this page, put down everything, and I want you to listen carefully. Try to read or listen and repeat these sentences with the speaker. Try to repeat these sentences with the speaker so you can practice what you have just learned. Now we will go ahead and listen to the recording.
Page 59. 6. Pronunciation. Questions usually serve one of two purposes. 1. To find out information that you don't already know. This kind of question usually ends with falling intonation. 2. To confirm that information you believe to be true is correct. This kind of question usually ends with rising intonation. Listen and practice.
1. What do you think is going to happen? 2. What's going on? 3. Isn't that a bit harsh? 4. What are you talking about? 5. Didn't all that happen?
Now we have listened to 5 sentences, and in each sentence we have an arrow at the end of the sentence. In the first one, as you can notice, we have an arrow that is going down. That is going down. If you look back at this question and read it, what do you think is going to happen? You will understand that this person is asking about something that he has or she has no idea about. They have no knowledge about that thing. So we have here an arrow that's going down, which means that this question ends with a falling intonation. It ends with a falling intonation. So we have an arrow that's going down. On the other hand, if you look at number 3, isn't that a bit harsh? We have an arrow that is going up. What does that mean? It means that the question ends with a rising intonation. So we have 2 types. Falling intonation, like number 1 and 2 and 4, where the question ends with a falling intonation. And as you can notice, there are some arrows going down. Number 3 and 5 ends with rising intonation, and they have arrows that are going up. Now you can go back and listen to the way the speaker pronounce each one of these questions and repeat with them. After that, we have part 7, vocabulary building. What is the meaning of vocabulary building? In vocabulary building, we always learn new words. We have some words that are extracted from an article or an essay. But before we start talking about these words and trying to guess and understand their meanings, we will go ahead now and listen to this essay together. Why do we have to listen to this essay? Not go ahead and just answer the questions, because you should read these words within a context. If you read this word, for example, the word confidential, if you haven't read this word before, maybe you will not understand what does it mean. But if you read it within a context, that will give it, or it will make more sense for you. And maybe you can guess the meaning of the word. So now we will go ahead, listen to the essay. I want you to focus, try to guess the meaning of each one of these words. If you have any guess about the meaning of one of these words, you can take some notes near the, or on the sides of, on the footnotes of the essay. Then after that, we will do the exercise together. Then you will make sure if your guess is correct or not. The first word here is confidential. Number 2, derogatory. Number 3, divulge. Number 4, excluding. Number 5, immune. Number 6, malicious. And number 7, superior. Now we will go ahead to the next page, page 60 and 61, and we will listen to this essay about why we gossip.
Pages 60 and 61. 8. Reading.
Psst. Pass it on. Why we gossip. Almost everyone has indulged in gossiping about other people at some time. Gossiping seems to be part of human nature. Gossip is spread in classrooms, in offices, at restaurants, in hallways, on the street, over the phone, and on the internet. No one is immune to gossiping or being gossiped about. But just why is it that people gossip? There are many reasons people gossip. Some people gossip because it makes them feel like they are part of a group. The people spreading the gossip feel like they are in on a secret and that they are accepted by the people listening to the gossip. By excluding the person they are gossiping about, the gossipers feel included. David Jardell has experienced this firsthand. David recalls, "When I first graduated from college, I was hired along with a few other graduates to be an assistant at a news station. It was a really competitive job, and at first it was difficult to make friends. We worked long hours and weren't paid very much. We were all really struggling. Or at least that's what I thought. But one day I overheard one of the other assistants, Rick, on the phone with his father. He asked his father if he could send more money to cover his rent. He also asked him whether he could increase the limit on the credit card he had given him. I got the feeling from the conversation that his parents were basically supporting him. I ended up gossiping about it to the other assistants. I knew I was wrong to do it, but at the time I couldn't resist. We all had a good laugh about it, and it helped us bond as a group. But there was a price to be paid for that, and Rick paid it. We used to tease him quite a bit. For example, if we were ordering a pizza, we would say, "Oh, Rick, wouldn't you prefer to have a nice meal at a restaurant and charge it to your daddy?" We meant it in good fun, but looking back, I can see how it might have seemed malicious to Rick. He ended up quitting. I always felt bad about the part I played in his. Other common causes of gossip are insecurity and a need to feel superior. When you spread rumors about someone, it reduces that person's status in other people's eyes. Judging other people negatively can make insecure people feel better about themselves, at least temporarily. Jim Lyle recalls having been guilty of this himself. When I had been at my first job for about a year, I was hoping for a promotion. Instead, they hired a new guy for the job that I had wanted. About 6 months later, a friend who worked in human resources told me that the new guy had been given a really bad performance review. My friend said that if his performance didn't improve, he would be in danger of being fired. I knew that this was confidential information, but each time I was having a conversation with someone in the office, I somehow found myself gossiping about it. Gossiping also made Jim feel powerful, important, and like the center of attention, at least for the few minutes it took to divulge the gossip. However, Jim adds, his performance improved, and he's very good at his job now. Also, I've gotten to know him, and he's really a nice person. Now I'm always worried someone will tell him that I used to gossip about him. Interestingly, though, the number one reason most young people gossip is not insecurity or a need for attention or acceptance. According to polls, most young people say they gossip out of boredom. Some people feel that when there is no conflict or drama in their social circle, life is too dull. For them, spreading rumors shakes things up and makes life more interesting. In essence, for many people, gossip is a form of entertainment. Cindy Lamott, a 19-year-old student at a community college, admits to being a big gossiper. Explains Cindy, "The truth is too boring. Gossip is fun. However, for all its potential to do harm, gossip is not always a negative thing. Some gossip is harmless talk that is part of how people communicate and stay connected with each other. When people gossip about minor things, gossip can strengthen bonds between people and within a community. The issue isn't so much with gossip itself, but with the content of the gossip. Gossip becomes a problem when it is derogatory and hurtful. So the next time you hear a piece of gossip and feel the urge to pass it on, stop for a moment. Ask yourself whether the gossip will do harm to the person being gossiped about. If you think it might, it's a good time to keep your mouth closed.
Okay, now we have listened to this essay, Why We Gossip, and we tried to guess the meaning of each one of the previous 8 words. I'm pretty sure that now each one of you have a list of guesses, and I'm sure that most of your guesses are correct. But now let's go ahead to this page where we have the words on the left side and their definitions and explanations on the right side. We will start with the first one, which is confidential. The word confidential refers to anything that is secret, anything that we don't want the other people to know. When we say about something that it is confidential, or it's classified, or it's a secret, that means it's something that the other people shouldn't know. After that, we have the word derogatory. the word derogatory. Then we have the word divulge. Number 4, excluding. Number 5, immune. Number 6, malicious. And number 7, superior. The word derogatory is when we cause harm to someone, and after that, the word divulge is when we release a secret about someone, or when we release a secret about something that we should keep private or we should keep as a secret. Number 4, excluding. If you have many parts, let's say you have 5 parts and you take out 2 of them, you have excluded the 2 parts. So now you have only 3 parts because 2 of them are excluded. Number 5, immune. Immune means something invulnerable or invulnerable. That means someone is protected by something. So immune means protected, cannot be harmful, or cannot be harmed. Number 6, malicious. Malicious means or refers to the thing that causes the harms to the other things deliberately. If you, for example, you say this software is malicious, okay, that means it causes harm to the computer. Number 7, superior. It refers to anything that is the best. When we say about something it is superior, that means it is better than its peers. Now let's go ahead to the to the answers. Number 1, confidential, is C, something that is done or communicated in secret. Number 2, derogatory, showing lack of respect. Number 3, divulge, is G, tell something that was secret. Number 4, excluding, which is F, leaving out. Number 5, immune, which is B, not vulnerable to being affected by something. Number 6, malicious, is D, deliberately harmful. And the last one, superior, is A, better than others. This is the last part of our lesson today. Thank you all for attending, and I wish you enjoy the rest of the day. Assalamu alaikum.